If you have your attention, we're going to get started. Please grab a seat. Please grab a seat, and if not, grab some shade. I'm Rodney Ellis, and I couldn't be more delighted that we have so many people who would come out on a pleasant Saturday morning for the ribbon cutting for the historic Houston Negro Hospital, later became Riverside Hospital. We know it's going to warm up a little later, so all of us who are speakers have decided if we can't say everything we wanted to say today, we're going to save it and say it for the 100th anniversary on Juneteenth. Well, I've been assured that there will be a few more tents on that day. But look, seriously, I'm so glad that so many people from throughout our community would come here. This is an amazing story. Can we begin with a prayer from the great pastor of the Willa Avenue Baptist Church, Pastor Cosby? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning. Let us pray. Gracious God, we give you thanks for this day and for the privilege that is ours to gather together under the beauty of this sun in the space that has been designated to remind us of the history that comes along with this hospital. We thank you for all of the men and women who for many years shared in this place to ensure that health care would be provided for those who were the underprivileged, the underclasses, those who were left out in the margins of our community. We thank you now for the hope that is ours as we begin again to look at how we might remind ourselves of our responsibility to bless those who are the least, the last, the looked over, and the left out. We thank you for our commissioner and for the work that he has done. We thank you for each of these who will speak to us today, who have had a part in ensuring the progress and promotion, the productivity of this experience and expansion. We pray now your blessings upon all of us as we together remind ourselves of our responsibility to ensure that the generations beyond us are as blessed as those before us, even more so because we commit ourselves to ensuring that their progress will be in our hands. Bless now our time together, and may the health care and the hope that has come with this moment always remind us that you take care of your own. And we thank you for that. In your precious and holy name do we pray. Amen.
It was intentional to ask Pastor Cosby to come because the Willa Avenue Baptist Church has played such a historic role in the development of Houston. And I can remember, Pastor Cosby, a number of meetings with your predecessor complaining to me about what could be done from the federal government, the state government, city government, county government to reopen the historic Riverside Hospital. So I know a lot of things that you could be doing today. Thank you. It meant a lot to have you here. There are a number of elected officials who are here. There are a few that I saw. Representative Ron Reynolds is here, Sharon Burney, and I think someone from Senator Miles's office, and also from Senator Cruz's office. And I recognize all the other elected officials at some point. If I miss you, just stand up and let's give a round of applause to our elected officials who are here. Thank you all so very much. On June 10th, 1926, almost 100 years ago, this hospital was dedicated as the Houston Negro Hospital. It was at a time when black physicians were barred from white hospitals and black patients were denied care. This became one of the few places where families could turn. It operated under segregation and with limited resources, but it provided health care and trained generations of medical professionals who served the city. This year marks 100 years of Black History Month. We decided to have this event today because it is the last day of Black History Month this year. On June 19th of this year, we will mark 100 years to the day this hospital was dedicated. That history reminds us access to health care has always been tried to be done equitably, but it has not always operated that way. Healthcare is a human right in my judgment. It should not depend on income, neighborhood, or race. In 1918, a wealthy oil man named J.S. Cullinan donated $80,000 to build the original hospital. That equates to about $1.7 million in today's money. He also left in his will Listen to this carefully. $524,496.57 in trust for maintenance after he died, which equates to about $11.8 million in today's money. Now I want to pause on that because I have read the book you're going to hear about later. I read the manuscript to the book that one of our speakers will tell you about briefly today. I read the entire book on the iPad, sometimes on airplanes, sometimes in the middle of the night. Mr. Cullinan was ahead of his time. He forced the city of Houston to donate the entire block to a not-for-profit to create this hospital. And it makes a very profound statement on this, the 100th year of Black History Month, the 100th year of this hospital. I was obviously born here. But it makes the point that African Americans had to struggle in this country for a very long time. But we didn't get to where we got to alone. With the members of the Cullinan family who are here today, would you please stand and let us give you a warm round of applause. Riverside closed in 2015 after serious financial challenges. There were stops and there were starts and real uncertainty about its future. In 2018, the Harris County Commissioners Court approved acquisition of this campus so it could once again serve underserved communities. The Houston Endowment. I always like to point out Jesse Jones, Houston Endowment, provided $7 million. That's worth a round of applause. The Qatar Harvey Fund contributed $2.5 million out of the overall $30 million that they committed to our region after the Harvey flood. Would you please give a round of applause for that? HUD provided $750,000 secured by the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, and she was beating them across the head trying to get $20 million. But we appreciate that $750,000. I think Elwin Lee is somewhere here, and I think Erica Lee Carter may be here somewhere as well. Give them a warm round of applause. More than $40 million, Judge Hidalgo, has already been invested in the restoration of this project. So that means the county stepped up in a big way to do this. When complete, there will be over $200 million in the revitalization project. Phase 2, which is still in design, is projected at roughly $160 million. So where that old dialysis center was, that will come down, and we will put a 4-story building that will not overwhelm these 3 historic buildings. We'll have a parking lot, which hopefully will have a view on the top and some mixed-use parking. If the pastor from the church across the street is here, where my uncle, my grandmother, and all came, I want to thank you, Pastor, for your patience with me. We were contemplating if we couldn't buy the land from you, would we condemn it? And somebody on my staff said, Rodney, you nuts? You're going to try to condemn land for a church? And so I kept calling the pastor, kind of working on him, and I came by one day. I should have been in church, but I was on my bike and with the spandex on. So I forgot all of the things I learned on the debate team and reverted back to when I couldn't win the argument on its merits. I just got to cussing a little bit. And the pastor taught me he knew how to lay down the cross and pick up the sword. God bless us both. But with a great will to the good Lord Almighty, Gerald Womack, we bought it. And it's a win-win for everybody. This is a strategic investment to strengthen preventative care and reduce health disparities. This campus will serve as headquarters for the Harris County Public Health Department. That's what will be in that 4-story building, providing dental care, immunizations, STI screenings, and treatment, telebehavioral health, and coordinated support through Access Harris. We're restoring history while building lasting public infrastructure. A ribbon cutting marks progress, not completion. A ribbon cutting marks progress, not completion. We've dedicated the funds that have been utilized so far to fulfill our commitments. Now we have to follow through on them. That's why I want you all here today. We have agreed to a design, build, operating plan. The county engineer may talk about that. So this program is going to be, this new building will be complete before I'm in a geriatric institute. In a record amount of time, that building will complete. Riverside began in a time of exclusion. Today it stands as a commitment to equity and access to generations to come. Now we'll have a musical selection from Dr. Kiana Williams of the Willow Avenue Baptist Church. Kiana.
Good morning.
Okay. Am I on? Yes. It's appropriate on this last day of Black History Month to end as we began with our Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Would you stand as I sing this song? Lift every voice
Stand, sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee, shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiana. Said on my staff told me you'd applied for a job. I don't know if they told you, you got the job. You hired. Next, it's my privilege to introduce someone that we all know and who's done a great job leading Harris County. And on a personal note, Judge Hidalgo, I want to thank you. When you got in, you said, well, this Riverside project that's so important is in my office. And she said, I'll tell you a little secret. I passed by it when I was campaigning, but they tell me you were born there. So thank you for having the vision to pass it over to my office. And my team, I want to give them a warm round of applause for what they have done, including put this event together. Would you please welcome the County Judge of Harris County, the Honorable Lena Hidalgo.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Ellis. This is so incredible in and of itself, but the fact that it's the last day of Black History Month and that we have a historian who has been able to identify the history that went into this and the struggle that went into this is just wonderful. So I can't wait to hear from Mr. Carlton Houston, but I want to acknowledge as well the Cullinan family, President Ann Stern, Madam Consul General, and all the county staff that's worked so hard toward this, and of course, Commissioner Ellis, again, you and your staff. It was ultimately, and I had a chance to learn a little bit of the history as well, because of a very philanthropic individual who had a sense of equality and tolerance at a time where it was odd to be that tolerant. He was bullied by his peers, Mr. Cullinan, who contributed to this hospital as part of what I've learned from the work of Mr. Houston. But then there were Black citizens willing to stick their necks out at a dangerous time to push for this hospital. And there were Black physicians who'd overcome so many challenges to become really preeminent professionals in their field and came from various places around the world. It's a minor miracle that in Houston, 100 years later, we don't tend to keep things around for too long. This place is still here. And it's perfect, with it being Black History Month, for us to be able to know the history, to celebrate it, and to continue building that history. And Commissioner Ellis, this is really a testament to what the county can do to the next generations of people in Houston and in Harris County. It is something that we sometimes don't think about when it comes to infrastructure. We think about flood control, we think about roads, we think about bridges. But at the time this hospital was built, the death rate for African Americans here in town, and this was reported by the newspaper at the time, was twice what it was for white residents of Houston. So just imagine that. And even now, residents of the 3rd Ward live 6 fewer years on average than the average lifespan in Harris County. So we've come a long way, but there's a way to go. There's a way to go. So this is part celebration, part continuation of a fight, and part inspiration for the next chapter. What this means, obviously, for Harris County is that we're addressing the health of the community. We can't be healthy as a county if each of our communities are not healthy. We're working to address disparities through various programs. I see Director Barton here, everybody with the Public Health Department, Director Rahman, but being able to move our Harris County Public Health headquarters here and a variety of programs we've worked on that are evidence-based and really wraparound services is powerful, a powerful testament to the way we're trying to tackle public health. Not just, people talk about this, by the time you get to the hospital, it's almost too late. And so we're really looking at it through this building. How can we really start on the preventative side of things? So this means a lot to so many people. Commissioner, as Chief Emergency Manager in Harris County, I see us come together so well, not just the first responders, the emergency management experts, the hospital folks, the Red Cross, you name it. Then as we recover, all the residents, so many people in this community, young and old, as different as they come, coming together to address this. That is the same story of this hospital. Very different people, very human challenges, and yet this happened, and yet we are preserving it. So I want to just acknowledge again the contributions from the city of Houston, of the land. I think at the time, the Black citizens also paid taxes, but they didn't get the public dollars in the hospitals that they needed. And they didn't have a place to go for care. We had 50,000 Black residents at the time, and they had subpar care, very much subpar care in white hospitals, and for the most part would prefer to stay home rather than be treated the way they were treated there. So it's really a fascinating story, and I think so your book ought to be made into a movie. And but let me just thank you again, Commissioner Ellis, and all of the various players from foreign to local to all levels of government that have contributed to this. I will repeat briefly in Spanish for the media, and then I will cede my time, Commissioner. Thank you. Bueno, este logro se ha esperado mucho tiempo y estoy orgullosa de finalmente celebrar la reapertura de este hospital. Este hospital se abrió por primera vez hace 100 años. Y la razón era que los ciudadanos afroamericanos de la ciudad de Houston, del condado Harris, tenían una tasa de muerte que era el doble de la tasa de los residentes blancos. Imagínense eso. Para una persona, un paciente afroamericano, les iba mejor quedarse en casa que ir a un hospital manejado por los ciudadanos blancos. Los trataban terrible. Las historias eran horrorosas. Entonces, en ese momento, un grupo de doctores afroamericanos y una familia, un señor de mucho dinero, quien venía de Pensilvania y está muy comprometido con la igualdad. No tenía esas ideas que la mayoría del área aquí en Texas, en el sur, tenía de racismo. Este señor Cullinan decidió invertir en el primer hospital para afroamericanos aquí en la ciudad. No se trataba de racismo, se trataba de igualdad, porque ahora tenían un sitio para ir y recibir cuidado médico. Después de 100 años, gracias a apoyo de la ciudad de Houston, del gobierno de Qatar, del Houston Endowment y también del condado, hemos logrado reabrir este hospital enfocado ahora a la salud pública. En otras palabras, enfocado en la prevención, no solamente el tratamiento de enfermedades. Entonces quiero reconocer este momento, es realmente histórico. Es raro que preservemos aquí en Houston cualquier cosa histórica, vaya, siempre vamos cambiando las cosas, modernizando, pero esta es una historia, deberían hacer una película basada en esta historia. Es una historia de mucha perseverancia, de mucha igualdad, tolerancia y bueno, de una batalla que seguimos luchando todavía en los vecindarios más pobres de nuestra ciudad, de nuestro condado, sea cual sea la raza y la etnia, el pronóstico de vida es más corto. Entonces seguiremos trabajando en esto, pero hoy día es un día muy especial y me enorgullece ser parte de esta continuación de otros 100 años para este hospital. Thank you so much, Commissioner Ellis.
I want to thank the contractors. We took the railing out so you'd have a good view. Next is appropriate. They will hear from our health director. And I want to thank them so much for agreeing to move their employees into this campus. We're going to have the sheriff's office here as well. I want to say to you, the residents of this community, if you see something, say something, because we're making a bold statement by making this investment. Director Leah Barton, thank you so much, Leah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Leah Barton, Executive Director of Harris County Public Health. Thank you, Commissioner Ellis and the Precinct 1 team for your leadership in bringing this historic site back to life and for inviting us to be part of this momentous event. We are incredibly proud to celebrate the ribbon cutting of the Riverside Health Hub as we take another step toward building a more equitable and healthy future for all Harris County community members. Harris County Public Health is deeply honored to be the hands and feet bringing health services back to Riverside. We are special thanks to Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo, to Dr. Marcus Cosby from Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church, to historian Carlton Houston, and all of you who have joined to celebrate this moment. We are particularly grateful for significant financial investments from the Houston Endowment and the state of Qatar, as well as to Dr. Milton Rahman and Harris County Engineering for their leadership of the renovation efforts. Nearly 100 years ago, a new era in healthcare began, which created access to health services for African American residents, opportunities for African American physicians to practice, and training opportunities for African American nurses. This site has always been about leadership, representation, and trust. And I'm proud to say that these qualities will endure as these doors reopen to the community. On the first floor, community members will be able to access essential health services, including vaccinations, dental care, HIV and STI screenings, and warm handoffs to mental health services. Offered through Harris County Public Health. Well, yeah, that's exciting. And these will be offered through Harris County Public Health's Community Health and Wellness Division, led by our local health authority, Dr. Erica Brown, and Director of Dental Services, Dr. Keela Johnson. On the second floor, our chronic disease prevention program will focus on diabetes prevention and long-term wellness under the leadership of Dr. Jamie Hughes, Director of Health Prevention and Coordinated Care. And on the third floor, our outreach team, reporting through Deputy Chief of Staff Dr. Kimberly Henderson, will connect people to Harris County Public Health programs, services, and community resources. I'd like to ask Dr. Brown, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Hughes, and Dr. Henderson to stand. Please recognize their leadership. Our mobile units will also periodically visit the site, including our pet mobile unit offering spay and neuter services and microchipping, because we know supporting families means supporting every part of their lives, and human health and animal health are connected. Construction of this hospital space is expected to be completed in March, followed by interior setup and furnishing. Our team anticipates moving into the building by late spring, with services opening to the community shortly thereafter. Harris County Public Health's mission is to protect health, prevent disease and injury, and promote health and well-being for everyone in Harris County. Riverside allows us to do that in a way that is rooted in history, community trust, and a unified approach to care. Our presence here is not only about health services, it's about being a trusted partner and resource. It's about breathing new life into a historic gem, and it's about ensuring that everyone in this county has the opportunity to achieve their full potential for health and well-being. Thank you again, and we're excited to welcome you in to access our services very soon.
Next, we'll hear from our county engineer, Dr. Milton Roman. Thank you. Give him a warm round of applause. Record time, and I know you mentioned the contractors on this project. Thank you, Doctor.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. And what a privilege here to follow Commissioner Ellis, Judge Hidalgo, and Leah Barton, Director Barton. It's going to be tough to follow y'all. So I want to set the expectations straight. Their words beautifully captured the spirit and significance of what we are celebrating here today. And I hope to add one more dimension to it. The engineering perspective, the investment behind it, and the exciting road ahead of it. But before I begin, I want to acknowledge County Judge Leah Hidalgo for her leadership and tireless advocacy for the health and safety of Harris County residents that continue to inspire us all. To all the other elected officials, community leaders, funding partners, and honored guests with us here today, welcome and thank you for joining. As Commissioner Ellis so movingly reminded us, this building holds a deeply personal space in our community's history. From the engineering department perspective, that history was both an inspiration and a responsibility. Every decision we made, every design choices, every construction milestone we made with the weight and honor of this place in mind, the Third Ward community. The renovation of Riverside Hospital represents a total investment over $38 million, a bold and deliberate commitment that public health infrastructure is worth investing in. And the people of Harris County deserves world-class facilities. But it didn't happen through the county's funding alone. We are deeply grateful to our funding partners, the Qatar Foundation, Houston Endowment, Colden family. All their investment is a powerful expression of the confidence in the public health in the future of Harris County. So for all the organizations, thank you. Now I want to take a special moment to recognize someone whose fingerprints are every inch of this project. While Commissioner Ellis's personal connection to this building has already been shared so powerfully. I simply cannot stand here in the podium without adding, from the engineering team's point of view, how profoundly his leadership shaped this project. Commissioner Ellis was not just a supporter of this renovation, he was the champion and the driving force. I do not remember a couple of weeks in Harris County without getting a call from Commissioner Ellis that what is the status of this project. The fact that he was born in this very building and lived to see it reborn as a center of public health and community center, that is a legacy that will endure long after today's ribbon cutting. Commissioner Ellis, thank you for your pivotal and personal role in making today possible. Now, a project of this scale demands exceptional talents, and we are fortunate to have the very best. To our design consultant, Kirk's Architects, thank you for your thoughtful, sensitive approach in honoring the history of this building while reminding the needs for today and tomorrow. To our contractors, Skanska, your team has delivered with precision, professionalism, and a quality work which is evident throughout this entire facility. We are proud to have you all as part of the team. Thank you. I also want to take a moment to recognize the remarkable team within the Harris County Engineering, whose dedication kept this project on course from start to finish. Our Chief of Strategy, Dr. Ahmed, is here with us. Dr. Lerner, our Director of Facilities, and Chief Burden, our Head of Architecture, brought this technical vision and the steady leadership what guided every critical decision on this project. But we also have our project managers, Sandra. Sandra, where are you? Somewhere. She was here from 8 o'clock this morning to make sure everything is right. And Sandra's tireless commitments, meticulous attention to detail, calm and steady hands ensured this complex renovation stayed on schedule, on a scope, and deserves more recognition just this space can offer. And to the entire engineering team, you are the unsung heroes behind what you see today, and the day belongs to you as well. Thank you. But I want to leave you with something to look forward, because what you see today, as magnificent as it is today, is the only phase 1 of the story, as you heard from Commissioner. We're proud to announce that phase 2 of this campus transformation is already in the motion. Phase 2 will deliver a brand new 4-story building spanning over 150,000 square feet, along with a multi-story parking garage, giving Harris County Public Health the expanded space, capacity, and infrastructure to serve the growing community for generations to come. As you have heard, the total investment in this campus will be over $200 million for this community. And I wanted to share that phase 2 will make its history in its own right. This will be the first design-build project in the history of Harris County. A design-build project is the modern, integrated way of doing the design and construction together that will allow us to deliver this project, accelerating the timeline, reducing risk, and delivering greater value for Harris County taxpayers. We are not just building a new facility, we are pioneering a new way of building in Harris County. Now, as you heard earlier, I want to make a public commitment that phase 2 is targeted for substantial completion in December of 2028. The next chapter of this campus is already being written, and it is going to be extraordinary. Harris County Public Health now has a home worthy of its mission, a building rooted in history and designed for future. A symbol right here in this community of what is possible when leadership, investment, talent, and purpose come together. On behalf of the Harris County Engineering Department, it is an honor of our lifetime and our career to be part of this transformative development. Thank you all.
Thank you. Next, the person who I think deserves more credit than anyone else, I think it was my former colleague, Representative Coleman, who reached out to her. She called me when I was still in the state Senate before I came here and said, you know, we want to do this, and we decided we want to give it to the county as opposed to the city. But Ann Stern is stepping down as the head of Houston Endowment. I've known her and her family, a very rich history. And her parents supported me the first time I ran. I hope I have not disappointed them. Would you please welcome the head of the Houston Endowment, Ann Stern.
Good morning. I honestly don't think that enough can be said about Commissioner Ellis's leadership and his tenacity in getting this project done. And I thank you, Commissioner Ellis, for inviting me to be here and be part of this day. And thank you to everyone else who's made this possible. Judge Hidalgo, the Harris County Public Health, the Office of the County Engineer, and I don't want to forget Representative Garnett Coleman, who was excited about this from the very beginning, and the many other partners and public servants, past and present, who have helped move this vision forward. And most importantly, thank you to the residents of the Third Ward. This project was possible because of the community that never gave up on Riverside. I'm here representing Houston Endowment, and to be clear, we were just one part of this effort. But of all the projects that I've been part of, this one has stayed especially close to my heart. You see, we at Houston Endowment were fortunate to be in the right place at the right time and able to help move something forward that the community had been calling for. Working in the Third Ward on other issues, we kept hearing the same thing from residents and from leaders. Riverside wasn't just a building. It was where people were born. It's where their families were cared for. It's where Black physicians were able to practice during a time of segregation when there were very few opportunities and not many doors were open. And when the hospital closed, it left a significant hole. Yes, a hole in access to care, but also a hole in the history and the identity of this neighborhood. The work that followed to bring it back wasn't easy, and it certainly wasn't quick. But it was deeply collaborative. We listened first, and then we brought flexible resources, not just dollars, but legal expertise, strategic support, and connections across sectors. And working alongside community leaders, lawyers, bankruptcy trustees, elected officials, and county partners, we helped move Riverside out of bankruptcy and into Harris County's very capable hands. That collaboration was essential, because no single organization could have done this alone. And it's proof that when a community says something matters and institutions listen and work together, change is possible. Anyone who drives by Riverside today will see this beautifully restored historic building, but more importantly, they will see a place that will serve generations to come. A place where there's no wrong door, where someone who's facing multiple challenges can walk in and find the support that they need. So, this work is still unfolding, but today is worth celebrating. Riverside's second life belongs to the Third Ward, and this day belongs to all of you. Nothing about Riverside was possible without the people who care deeply about this place and this community. I'm proud that Houston Endowment could play a role, and I'm grateful to everyone who stayed the course to make this day real. So congratulations, and thank you for showing us what's possible when community voices are the ones guiding the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. One thing I know is about pulling these mics up, my friend. So the next person that we're going to hear from has become a very close friend of mine over the years. I want to thank you, Ambassador Chase Untermeyer, because you were, if you're here, you were partially responsible for suggesting this project being one that the Qatar Fund would invest in. But we have Her Excellency T.H. Sheikha Tamador Athani. Thank you. How was that? I'm ready to go back to Doha.
morning, everyone. Commissioner Rodney Ellis, distinguished community leaders, and the resilient people of Houston. It's a great honor and pleasure to join you today for this special ribbon-cutting ceremony marking the restoration and expansion of Riverside Hospital. On behalf of the state of Qatar, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to Commissioner Rodney Ellis, Harris County officials, healthcare professionals, and all partners who made this important project possible. Today is not only about opening a building, it's about celebrating resilience, partnership, and hope. Following Hurricane Harvey, the people of Houston demonstrated remarkable strength in the face of adversity. During that time, the state of Qatar stood alongside affected communities, guided by its humanitarian values and its belief in international solidarity during time of crisis. Through the Qatar Harvey Fund initiative, the state of Qatar contributed to supporting recovery efforts and strengthening healthcare and community services based on the conviction that investing in people is the foundation of lasting recovery. Institutions like Riverside are the heart of every community. They provide care, dignity, and reassurance to individuals and families when they need it most. Supporting this project reflects our shared belief that recovery is not only about rebuilding infrastructure, but about restoring hope and opportunity for people. Today's ceremony also reminds us of what can be achieved when partnerships are built on compassion, trust, and mutual respect. The collaboration between local leaders, healthcare professionals, and community partners demonstrates the power of working together to serve the common good. As we celebrate this milestone, we look ahead with optimism. We hope the center will continue to serve the Houston community for many years to come and remain a lasting symbol of resilience, healing, and friendship between the state of Qatar and the city of Houston. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this meaningful journey. We are proud to stand with Houston in building stronger and healthier communities. Thank you, Commissioner Rodney Ellis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Consul General. They also made a donation to the Blue Ridge Soccer Fields, which will be the headquarters for the community efforts. We're going to have a lot of soccer fields coming up, but those are the best ones, thanks to what you all did. But you do so much, and we appreciate it. Next, we'll hear from Carlton Houston. Carlton wrote the book that we were telling you about, and after Carlton, then we'll hear from John Archidiacono, who is the great-grandson of Mr. Cullen, in that order. And Carlton has written a great book. And in your honor, Carlton, I'm going to bring this out now because we were hustling to find this plaque. And this is the original plaque that the Cullen family put up. And because I read about it in your book, and here it is. We're going to make sure we protect it, but we have two replicas now because we didn't think we'd find the original. One in bronze and one I think might be in aluminum, but this is the plaque. Journalist and a great writer, Carlton Houston.
Wow. I had, all week long, I was thinking about what I wanted to say, and then last night I threw it all out. My wife was asleep, and I had a new idea of what I wanted to say, and it's in my pocket, and I don't even need to bring it out because this is just standing here at this moment has been something that I've been obsessing over for 20 years, really. I spent the last 3 years, as Commissioner Ellis said, working, staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to get the details right for this book. The name of the book is The Houston Negro Hospital, The Untold Legacy of Riverside General. And I'm kind of distracted because there's so much going on in my mind. Forgive me, photographers, I understand your pain. You guys know Ryan Middle School is right there. This man right here is James Ryan. He was one of the original board members. These photographs are amazing because normally we stand and we pose and we smile. These photographs were taken capturing a series of moments on Juneteenth from 1926. And you see so many people just behind them. There's a lady here with a hat. She's sitting on the edge. She's sitting right here on this concrete. Her name is Dr. Thelma Patton Law. She was the first OBGYN black woman in Houston. You can see her face in the photograph. She has this look in her eye. She's 26 years old, fresh out of medical school. Like all of the physicians in her era, they had to leave the state of Texas to earn a medical degree because there was no school in the state that would allow them to obtain that type of education because of the color of their skin. She went to Howard. Where are my Howard grads at? I see one right there. Dr. Drake's granddaughter, Deborah. She went to Howard, she came back home, and she served this community for 40-something years. They had a celebration where we're sitting right now in the 30s, and they brought 400 children out on the lawn, children that she had brought into this world. It's amazing. I can do this all day long, but I won't because over here, this man standing here in the hat with the white suit on with his back to the camera, that's my grandfather, Dr. William Drake. Last one. There was among Dr. Drake's contemporaries was a doctor named Roett, R-O-E-T-T. Yes. His daughter was the first pediatrician in Houston, Catherine Roett. This photograph, I've been looking at these photographs, y'all, for 20 years. They're online at the University of Houston archives. Dr. Catherine was born about 1923, which would have made her, she's passed now, but she would have been about 3 or 4 years old at the time of the dedication service. Ladies and gentlemen, this little girl, tiny little girl, is Dr. Catherine Wood. I just made that discovery in December, sitting at my kitchen table, staring at these photographs. It's really incredible. I know Mr. Ellis is watching his watch and it's hot out here. I'm gonna ask you all just to use your imagination and imagine us in 1926. Imagine what that day was like. Imagine a little girl riding there was a sidewalk from the entrance to the nursing school at the end of this campus. This was the Cullinan's dream, was that this would be a campus. Here we are 100 years later working on that dream. But imagine a little girl riding her bicycle up and down this sidewalk from the entrance of the hospital down to the nursing school and back, carefree, having a good time. That little girl was my mother. Her name is Evelyn Inez Taylor Drake, Dr. Drake's youngest daughter. She was born not here at the hospital, she was born in the middle of the night, right where the corner of that building is sitting. My grandparents stood here on that day, saw the opening of the hospital, saw the promise that it meant for this community. They bought 3 lots right next to the hospital. So this was my mother's world. She played here, she was in and out of the halls. By the way, she's in Kansas City being taken care of by my beautiful sister Catherine, and she wishes that she could be here and sends her best to everyone who is here this afternoon. This was her world. This hospital, she was surrounded by doctors. Her mother, my grandmother, was a nurse. My grandparents worked together side by side in the operating room in this hospital. So when I'm standing here today, I'm thinking about all of that. I'm thinking about their work, their sacrifice, the limitations for Black physicians at the time, and what this hospital meant. And there's a lot of lessons here, and I've heard a few of them already in what the speakers have said already this morning. The fact that we're standing here is not a coincidence. It's because of the vision and the work and the dreams of people who were standing here 100 years ago. The fact that the name Houston Negro Hospital is etched in stone is not by chance. Joseph Stephen Cullinan made sure that the name was etched in stone because he understood how perilous those times were in 1926 and how easily this could have been taken away from the Black community. The fact that he had this plaque etched and it was hanging right to the left of the entrance so that everyone who would walk in would understand the mission of this hospital. This was intentional. The fact that it was a nonprofit, the money that we make stays here. That was intentional, that was foresight, that's thinking about how do we create something in 1926 that will last. And then of course, in his will, he made the biggest statement of all. Even when I'm gone, all the money that I've earned in the oil fields of Texas, he was the dean of oilmen in this state. He was the president of the State Chamber of Commerce. He founded the Texas Oil Company, which later became Texaco. And he was anti-Klan, and he was pro-human. And it was those values that created where we are right now. And so, you know, I told you I could go forever, but I promised that I wouldn't. I will close out by saying this. You know, I mentioned that my grandparents worked side by side in the hospital in the operating room. And in August of 1948, my grandparents came into the Houston Negro Hospital on a Saturday morning to do an operation. My grandmother was the anesthesiologist. My grandfather was a surgeon. He was doing complex abdominal surgeries. He was removing fibroid tumors from the bodies of Black women 20 years before this building was even built. They did that surgery on a Saturday morning, and they left. They would drive their car. My mother told me it was hot, it was August. They park in the back, they get in their car, they drive around the block to the corner of Delano and Francis. And my grandfather followed my grandmother into the house. He went to the kitchen, to the ice box to get something to drink, and he collapsed on the floor, and he died. I say that story because it reminds us of the commitment. He was nearly 78 years old, and the last thing he did was perform an operation. here at the hospital. So I say that to you to say this is work. It involves sweat, it involves tears, and ultimately you can't give up when it comes to health and equity. My grandfather in a letter called it this great hospital fight. Thank you.
Carlton, well said. When we do the 100th anniversary, I have decided today we're going to do an anniversary breakfast. Because there are a lot of things they had 100 years ago. Climate change was not one of them. So our last speaker is going to be John Architiakano, who is also the head of the Houston Health Museum, where we're going to have a signing of your book. I just announced it. Thank you, John.
Thank you all for allowing me to be here today, representing my family. I am honored and privileged, but more important, I'm proud to be a descendant of Joseph Stephen Cullen. The plaque down here says it all, regardless of race, creed, or color. That's what he believed in 1926. I'm just so proud of that. Oh my gosh. But I will say that I don't think he could have imagined that 100 years later, we were still seeing the disparities we're seeing today. And the judge mentioned the life expectancy differences. There's actually a 20-year life expectancy difference depending on what zip code you live in here in Houston. What we need is more of these locations for access to health, equitable health care. So I am honored to be here. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Commissioner. Turn it back over to him.
Thank you, John. Dr. Williams is going to close us out with a musical selection.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can help somebody who is traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain.
All right. It is now 3 minutes until 11. I had a closing keynote address, but I won't give it. You're coming on Juneteenth, and you will give it. I want to ask all of our speakers to come up before you all start during the touring. And the other elected officials, I know Representative Lauren Ashley Simmons is here and Constable Smokey Phillips. Come on up and join us if there are representatives from elected officials. We're going to put that plaque between us. We're going to cut this ribbon. We're going to tour. The other two historic buildings are not open because they're moving furniture in, but you get to walk around the first floor of this one. Come back in June for that 100th Centennial Breakfast event, which is going to start early in the morning. Come on, we're going to look that way.
Go ahead.